Hey everyone, Pal here, and welcome back to part 3 of the Black Desert Online initial tutorial series. So in this episode, we are going to go over hiring workers and putting them to work. In the last episode, we talked about having residences, locations for them to stay in, and unlocking nodes for them to work at. And now today, we're going to put them to work gathering different materials for us. So the first thing we need to do is we need to know where to go. And I've walked pretty much right there, but what we're going to do is we're going to come back in here and we are going to turn on the knowledge system. Now, if you've walked around the town long enough, what you should have found is an icon like this. You'll find the guy that is the worker vendor. He allows you to hire workers. He's always going to be this pickaxe symbol. Until you've actually discovered him, though, he's just going to be a scroll. I'm trying to find one like... If we look over here, you'll see some of these kind of grayed out scrolls. They might be hard to see on YouTube, but there's grayed out scrolls here. Until you find them, they're just this scroll. But once you do find them, they will turn into this pickaxe icon. Let's go ahead and we'll turn node back on, turn knowledge back off. We're going to come up here and we're going to talk to this guy. And this is also another way to see it. You'll see the actual workers behind working, standing on like well, I'm not going to say what that kind of looks like. All right, let's interact with him.
What do you want?
Okay.
You need workers?
First, before we do anything, we have to spend some energy. So if we want to contract workers, we need a minimum of 5 energy just to view the worker. If we click this, you'll see it'll notice it costs 5 energy. We currently have 13, so we could see a maximum of 2. We're going to go ahead and we'll hit yes. And here is the worker. What we got here is a randomly assigned worker. It could be a giant, a human, or a goblin. I believe there might be dwarf also. In fact, you'll see there was a dwarf standing on that platform. The workers all have, based on their race, certain characteristics. Giants work slow, but they work for a long time. So they're inefficient, but have a lot of endurance. Goblins work very quickly, but not for very long. And what we're talking about here is your workers are going to get tired over time. They're going to lose energy. And you have to feed them in order to keep them going. And this is mainly done with beer. So giant workers will get a lot of work done over the course of a long time without needing beer, but they're very slow with each individual part. Whereas goblins will get a whole lot done real quickly, but they're going to need constant refills of beer in order to keep them going. If we like or don't like this worker, we could view another worker. That another worker is going to cost us 5 additional energy to view. Now, the workers can get skills in addition. Well, first, you'll notice his name's green. So he's a low rare. They have white, green, blue, orange, I think. There's different rarities of worker as they level up. He's got no special skills, but as he levels up, he'll unlock some more of these. We have 2 available lodging slots, and he's going to cost us 3,500 silver to hire. Balance that means the balance will come out of our bags for that. Since we're low on energy, we're going to go ahead and we will hire this worker. Insufficient silver coins. I don't have silver coins. All right, held in storage. Oh, that's what it's saying here. I only have 323 silver on me, but in my storage I have a bunch. So okay, so let's hire that worker. Do you want to hire this worker? Yes. Okay, and let's hire one more worker. Yes. Okay, a human worker. Humans are kind of middle of the roads, whereas giants are slow but very efficient or very long. Goblins are fast but don't last very long. Humans fall somewhere in the middle. So, yep, we're going to go ahead and we're going to hire this guy also. Stamina 17, luck, good. Hire, yes. Okay, so we now have 2 workers. Come back out here, and I'm going to hit the control button. I'm going to bring this up, and this worker panel is now here. If this is your first worker, this panel isn't here until you have your first worker. Now, I already had 3 workers, so you'll notice this giant worker is level 7. He's currently doing something. He's mining lumber. This one's level 7 also. He's picking potatoes, and this one's mining ore. So goblin, giant, and giant. So those ones are already done. Here's our 2 new ones. Boom and boom. Okay. And this just lets us know how they're doing. This is their energy bar we're looking at. So the goblins, 2/3 of the way through his energy within the next hour or so. I'm going to have to give him more beer, which I do have, and we will go over that probably in the next video. Let's go ahead and equip this because it's better. There we go. Get rid of that. Okay, so now we have our workers. Now, in order to give them jobs, we don't actually have to go back out to the places where we were. We can assign the jobs directly from town. You have to initially go out to invest in the node, but you don't need to be at the node in order to assign the worker to go there. Now, I do know in the last video, we ended up over here at the farm and we were going to send him out to do potatoes. Well, I already have a potato farm. Right, I have a potato farm right here. I don't need more potatoes than I'm already getting. What I ended up doing is in between videos, I ran over here and I invested 1 contribution point in this chicken farm. Okay, so we could choose one of our 2 workers. Let's go ahead and I'm just looking here. I'm looking working load 100, speed 26. I'm just seeing which one might be better.
Oh my.
You know, this guy's almost twice as fast. Distance is about the same. This guy moves faster and he's got 10 luck. So let's go ahead and send the human out here to work this field. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to change how many times he's going to start. We're going to hit max. So basically he'll be able to do this 17 times before he runs out of energy and needs to be fed beer, given beer to drink. We're going to hit OK and we're going to hit start work. Now go ahead and close this. We'll zoom back out. And we should see an icon of him moving up there. I guess the icon was already there for that guy. But let's turn around. This is just up at the top of this hill. Whoops. Wrong button. I keep summoning this little guy when I mean to open my map. Let's put a up to there. Let's climb up here. Actually, you know, we can probably do the beer thing in this one video by itself, except I don't have any workers available. Run up here. And this is just to show, and this was something I found that was pretty neat here. As we get here, we'll actually see if he's here. Oh, there's our worker. So you can see that's my giant worker. So he's the one picking the potatoes. And then over here, we should find a worker doing chickens. Chickens. He might not be here yet. He actually has to travel back and forth from the storage location out to here and back. So he just might not be here yet, but he will eventually come. You will also, if you're in a guild or in a clan, and you have clan members that are also invested and have workers out here in this field, you will see them here also. Now, something I'm not sure of, but let's try. I don't think you can have 2 workers working. No, you can't have 2 workers on the same field. Only one person can work in each individual thing. So we have that. So right now, we basically have an additional worker we could send somewhere else. Boy, is there much more to cover over this. I thought the worker one was going to be a whole lot longer. I suppose we could talk about giving them drink in order to go. So let's go ahead and we'll talk about feeding them. I can't demonstrate it, but the part that you will actually need to see is pretty safe. Okay, workers need beer for the most part. You can also give them, I believe, fish and a few other things, but the easiest one to get is beer. You'll now see here there's 2 icons, so both of them are being worked. That's being worked, and that's being worked. Okay, let's just check our workers here. Control. I was hoping my goblin might be running out sooner, but it doesn't seem that way. That giant's doing nothing, but that's okay. Okay, the first thing we're going to need in order to craft beer, in order to keep our workers hydrated, is we need a residence. We already purchased this. This was purchased in the very first, well, this was purchased before the first video, but I went over it in the first video on CP, where I own a residence, which is up here. It's that window right there, actually. Now, once you have the residence, you need the cooking utensils. So if we come in here and we're going to talk to the chef down below, shop, cooking utensils. This is a bad term. This is a cooking station. You need this cooking station inside your house in order to be able to perform cooking. If you don't want to spend 1,000 silver, his wife, right behind him, I'm assuming that's his wife, actually has a quest. Oh, I guess because I didn't. His wife has a quest on sometimes that'll give you cooking utensils, or you can just buy it. Now, once you've bought it, you're going to come up here, come inside here, and inside your place is instanced. You'll see I already have it down though, but we can click on place mode and then come in here. I'm sorry, this is going to be very saturated. There's something weird with the video here. But you can then take it and you can move it around wherever you want it to go. I find this location to be just fine. You know, put it wherever you want. Put it in the corner. And that's good. Confirm space. Okay. Yes, exit placement mode. All right, so now we have a place to cook. Now we need to get the ingredients. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to run back down to the dockyard to where my storehouse is, and I'm going to get the potatoes. So the recipe is potatoes, sugar, lifting agent or something they call it, and water. Now, the recipe you have to just know offhand, look up, or discover on your own, but we'll make it very easy for you guys. So we're going to back down to the warehouse. We have 10 additional potatoes. Okay, we're going to take them all. Good. You'll notice that we have more storage locations again. If you watched the previous video, in fact, I'm going to come back in. Now that this should be done, one of these I was expanding. This guy here, right? Storage, yep. And then we're going to... we don't have enough money. Let's talk to this dude. Warehouse. Let's take out some money. Let's take out 10,000. 10, whoops. Okay. So now we have 10,000. Come back out, come back in here, into this one, and we are going to upgrade this. There we go. So we're going to gain 5 additional spots here in a little bit. That gives a bit more storage. Good. All right, so we have potatoes. How many potatoes do we have in total? Ooh, I did a quest, and apparently I got an inventory expansion. There we go. We have... Oh, my potatoes are all on my other character. Well, that's fine. That's fine. We can do 4 batches of beer on this character. No, I'm going to cut the video here. We'll be back in a moment. I'm going to put the potatoes back in my storehouse, and I'll be back on my my warrior. He's got a higher cooking skill, and he has a lot of the other potatoes and stuff, so I'm going to switch over to him. We'll be right back. All right, so here we are. We're back with Barack Obama here, and he now has, I just got all the potatoes out of it, so now you'll see we have 27. Apparently, I only had a few potatoes. I completely wasted my time with doing that. All right, we have 27 potatoes. All right, we're going to run up here, and we're going to go back to that chef where we bought the utensils from. And we're going to buy several key items, and this is the nice thing. Once you have the potato production, everything else is pretty cheap. The potatoes are the only part that's a pain in the butt. And if you want to, you can actually farm the potatoes yourself rather than have your workers do it, but this works just fine. All right, so we're going to come in here. We're going to shop. Now, what we need is leavening agent, sugar, and mineral water. And what we can do is we can create 5 batches of beer. So every 5 potatoes is 1 batch of beer. So since leavening agent, we want to click this, and we're going to want 2 leavening agents per batch of beer we're going to make. So we're going to want 10 leavening agents. We're going to want 1 sugar, not raw sugar, regular sugar, per batch of beer. So we're going to want 5 of those. And then we're going to want 6 mineral water per one we're going to buy. So we're going to want 30 mineral water. Okay. All right. So you'll see here we have 10, 5, 27, odd number, and where the mineral water go 30. Okay. So those are the materials we need. Now we're going to run upstairs, and we're going to make some beer. Open the door. Open the door. There you go. And in we go. Okay, so we're going to hit R, and we're going to come in here. And the first thing you're going to have is you're going to see a whole lot of question mark recipes. Question mark recipes, question mark recipes. For you, beer is going to be question marked out also. All this is saying is I've crafted it, I learned what it was. I haven't learned anything else at all. And if you actually click on it, it'll show you the last few times what you made and how you made it, so you know. So, but we're going to pretend that that's not there because this is going to be your first time. You won't have any of this information. So to begin with, we're going to right click on the leavening agent, and we're going to add in 2 of those. We're going to right click on the sugar. We're going to add in 1 of those. We're going to right click on the potatoes. We're going to add in 5. And then we're going to right click on the water, and we're going to add in 6. So that's what you're going to need to add. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to hit cook. I'm going to open my inventory up, and it's got about a 10-second cast for this to happen. You notice we have 23 beer. And boom, now we have 25 beer. You're going to get anywhere from like 1 to 10 beer depending on your cooking skill. If I go into my character here, you'll see my cooking skill is level 6. I'm still pretty low. I've done this maybe 20 times here or so. Now, once you've done it once, then you'll now have the recipe active here. Unfortunately, there's no way to just shift click this to get it in there. No, in order to do it more, what you have to do is you have to now do it again. So I'm going to right click. I'm going to add in 2 leavening agent, right click, 1 sugar, right click, 5 potatoes, right click, 6 mineral water. Okay, so it's all back in. Now I'm going to do continuous production. It's going to tell me to make 1 batch and decide how many times to mix it. So basically you can't double it. I couldn't put in 4 leavening agent, 2 sugars, 20 potatoes, and 12 water. Don't do that. You can only do 1 at a time. Yes, I understand that. I want it to do it the maximum amount of times, which is 4. Okay, and now it's going to go ahead and it's going to make all that beer. Now you are going to get some side products while you're doing this. You know, you can see this dish of weird texture, taking out food, all this. This is side products I've gotten from making beer. This is what I was doing literally before I logged off earlier. So you get all of this. And this is where you're going to, yeah, pretty self-explanatory once you get it. You just need to get the utensils, which is a cooking station, know the materials you need, make it once, and then from there on, it's very easy. And the better you get at it, the more you're going to learn. You will notice my energy is going down every time I craft one. So it's coming up, and it's about to kick over, and then energy down. So you gain a little bit of XP. So this does all consume energy. There we go. We now have 33 beer. So once you got that done, the next step would be use this beer to rehydrate your workers. So I'm going to click on this worker icon here, and if one of these workers was not out working, so, you know, this goblin here, if he was, or that's a giant, the goblin here, was not in the middle of a process, he would be sitting at town. What I'd be able to do is I'd be able to click on him, click the recover button. It would open up my bag where I could then right click on the beer. It would give him the beer, and each beer is going to recover roughly 20% of his stamina. That's how it goes. If you want to, you could recover all, and that'll add them all, and you right click and it gives them all beer and recovers all their stamina, but they have to be in town. While they're in the middle of a job, they can't do it. So I can't really show that part now, but I think it's pretty self-explanatory from there once you know how to make the beer. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. But until next time, this has been Patler. Thanks for watching.